Going toe-to-toe with your opponents may sound epic, but it's hard work. If I'm gaming and can kick back somewhere with a sniper rifle, personally, I do that. And that's why in Mech Arena, I prefer sniper builds. Sniper builds allow for you to take out enemies from range, and personally, I love the Gauss rifle, since it has high range with no damage fall off at either extreme. Pairing that with a large magazine and a high rate of fire, it becomes an extremely versatile choice. While playing this build, make sure to play like a rat, by flanking around to take high ground and then targeting the lower health opponent. Now guys, don't miss their April event, which introduces the exclusive Helivac 10 weapon and gives players a shot at picking up the legendary Gatecrasher mech and Railgun 12 weapon, as well as the Killer Clown skin for the Panther. Next up is the Cyber Riot event, where 5v5 deathmatches play out on 2v2 styled maps. This event also brings the Fragment Gun, a futuristic shotgun that melts mechs like butter, new implants to go along with it, and a chance to earn the classic Shotgun 8 weapon. Mech Arena is completely free to play on Android, iOS, and PC right now, and you can use my personal link or scan my QR code to get bonuses worth $30. We're talking about 1 Rocket Motor 6, 1 Amateur Crate, and 1 skin to help kickstart your game. Make sure to check them out using the link in the description, and while you're at it, might as well add me as a friend. On screen now. Hey guys, before this video starts, if you guys are new to my channel, leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing would mean the absolute world to me. But at this point, you guys are obviously wanting to see the cost and the upkeep of the base, so on screen now, you'll see those numbers. Now, the cost is a little higher than you might expect. However, this base is for a small clan or a larger kind of group kind of aspect. It, however, is very easy to upkeep. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get into a tour. Alright guys, starting a tour on the outside of the base here. We have 6 externals on this base. 3 of them are going to be 1k, 1k with a 4 high qual. Those will upkeep our bunkers, as of there. And the other side, we're going to have a little more expensive 1.4k metal, 2.2k stone. And those hold up our wide gaps and all of our breach peaks. Ooh, excuse me. Coming over here into our entrance into compound, we have these Patricos into the interior. That simply just gives some nice angles. Entering further into the base, we'll see that we have this technical funnel wall on either side. Very nice for stopping raiders. We have lots of room for furnaces here. I'll show a few variations of this in the build, so you can either have more furnaces or you could just have a furnace funnel, and I'll show that later. Coming into this section, we have what will be our actual funnel wall. When this door is closed, it forces them to peek this shotgun trap. When it's open, it just stops them from going through entirely. But coming over the side right here, we'll show we have our double chain of fence turrets paired with a bedroom and some Patricos into compound. And that's really easy. We don't really need to touch on that too much. It's very simple. Coming through this double door though, we have more breach peaks that also segment the entirety of the funnel wall type beat. 2 beds in here, 2 boxes. You can obviously put lockers. I just prefer boxes. And obviously you can pull these windows off and have peaks right onto those walls. Coming back towards our main base here, we'll show off more of these breach peaks. We have shotgun traps throughout as well. These auto turrets watching the entire thing. And then we have some nice head glitch peaks right onto those compound walls. Every single compound wall has one of these peaks at least towards it, which is just awesome because these are full head glitches practically. You slap a heavy pot helmet on here, it's going to be hard to kill you. So entering in through the base, now we can either go up into our semi-open core, or in this case, we're actually going to go through to our starter. So the other 2 sides just go up to open core. But for here, we have a locker, bags, furnaces, the whole deal. 8 box loot room, 6 box loot room, our tier 2, and our TC. You'll get at least a day of upkeep on here easily. And yeah, pretty much all there is for starter. It's just a really nice long door path, so it is expensive to still reach TC. Jumping up the ladder, this size ladder, you can use a ladder hatch, however a ladder is easier mobility for bigger groups in my opinion. Semi-open core, lots of box space on every side, 5 box loot room in the middle, 4 boxes on each side, auto turret covering the entire thing. Very easy. Jumping up to the next level, this is our team bedroom and core retakes. We have some early game batteries, lockers, boxes, beds, the whole deal. You can get more beds and stuff in here, however I just placed it with symmetry on to make it easy and just show just kind of how it works. Jumping up to the next level, it is our roof. Excuse me. This here we have our wide gap peaks down here towards our walls on every side. We have a bedroom on every side, followed up by these semi-mountain roof type peaks like this. And these things are really nice. Good for peeking far away players, and they give cover from a higher fob. Over here are actually bunkers on every side. Putting a twig roof like this, we can jump in here, and we have 2 boxes and a battery. And just so raiders don't soft side it, you high qual these, and that's why we have a little bit of high qual upkeep on each external. Alright guys, that about does it for the entirety of the tour. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to ask anything. Also, if you have any ideas for new base builds, different concepts you want me to explore, try, or if you just don't like something about the base, let me know. I'm more than happy to take some criticism. I always am looking for new ideas. So without further ado, let's actually jump into a build of the base. Alright guys, I know some people like to see the footprint beforehand, so here I'm going to explain that for you guys. Right here is our TC. This is that 6-box loot room. This is the wrap around to our 6-box loot room, or our 8-box rather. Keep wrapping around. There's to our entrance or our exit unit out here. This right here would be our jump in, or not our jump in, but our entrance. Here is one of our other jump ups and our jump ups. And then above that would be open core in these 3 squares, and that's all you really need to know for that part. For here, this is our technical funnel wall right here on either side. Breach peaks here, more breach peaks here, paired with our wide gaps. Over here, these are our bedrooms in our compound, and then these are going to be our entrance modules, our gatehouses, and then obviously our basic externals. All right, guys. So be aware, I do like to use a little bit of symmetry and stuff like that throughout the build. However, I try not to use it much, really not as much as I used to. So I apologize if that's confusing. Feel free to ask questions down below. I apologize if I go too fast. But starting off here, at a stone, I like to place 1 triangle here before coming off with 1 square and a triangle on each side. Walling in this entire thing, double door, like this. Now I'll place my TC right here, and I'll put a door on this. I'm putting an armored door just to save time. Obviously put a sheet metal door initially. Now in here you can add whatever basic stuff you need for your group. Usually that consists of some furnaces, maybe putting a workbench in here, whatever you need, bags to get the team in. But obviously we need to expand pretty quickly. So to do so, we're going to place a triangle to the left, walled in. And then another 2 triangles, put a wall to your right. Over here, we're going to make that 8-box loot room now. Capping the entire thing in. I'll add a shelf in here. Next 2 triangles. Wall to the right. Another 2 doors. Now I'd move this double door out to this section, so I have more room. Now we place another square off this guy. 2 triangles. Our doorway that leads out. Now I'm going to place an armored door here, however, obviously use a normal sheet metal door. So, coming through here now. At whatever pace you guys can, add your boxes, your deployables, all that stuff like this. For our 8-box loot room, this is how we're going to do this. There are, of course, other ways to do it. This way just works for me. And then, at whatever rate you can, grab garage doors and put them in every single socket. And I'll just fly through here just to open all these up. Jumping over into here and adding boxes. And then our tier 2 and a furnace will go in this spot. Bags throughout. I like to put lockers on these walls. You can also put workbenches on these walls or research tables, anything you want. This is the entirety of the starter unit. Down, you can see that I left these squares out on every side. That's where our open core loot is actually going to be. It's a little weird, but the weird footprint allows for everything to be pretty cheap. So now from the outside, I like to upgrade. So before I honeycomb, if you can, upgrade this foundation under TC. This is TC. To high qual. And if you can, get these walls to high qual as well, as they become a little difficult to reach later. And while you're at it, you might as well upgrade everything you can, just to show how we're going to upgrade this core. So this entire compartment gets high qual. The roofing of the center will get high qual as well. And then everything else can be sheet metal. Now, obviously do this at your own rate. In most wipe scenarios, you're going to have more stone, especially early game. So I'm not expecting you to actually sheet metal this entire thing, as it doesn't make sense. And then I'm just using commands to do everything just to make it go quickly. But that's what the core would actually be in its fully upgraded state. So now we'll toggle on symmetry, and we'll build from here. And what I mean by symmetry is when I place a foundation here in this empty spot, it'll place on every single side, like this. I suggest upgrading this to sheet metal if you have the resources. If you don't worry about it. Coming in here and adding a shelf, upgrade this wall to sheet metal if you can right away, along with this one. These can be stone for now, but it's all of what resources you have. Make sure to add another shelf in here. Now jumping in here, I like to place a lowered ramp, a floor frame up in this tile, and then a raised ramp like this. Add that triangle in for the shelf, and you're good to go. You can come in here and seal this entire thing off. Technically, this space could be used already if you just doored all this off, but we obviously need to expand and honeycomb the base. So off of each of the 3 sides, each side is going to look exactly like this. So pretty simple. Off of each side, add a triangle off of every piece. You can actually do it off the entirety of the base. Everything gets a triangle. Then add a single doorway off of the center, off the square here, like this. I'm showing multiple angles to make it as easy as possible. That will be our jump up, so I build that too high. And then I come down here, and I build this honeycomb too high on both sides. Capping it off, and then adding shelves in between. These are our open coded rooms. And I'll jump up here and add a double door just for now, just so it's all sealed off. Jumping down here, garage door in this section. A little trick for you guys, if you guys do have lots of shotgun traps at any point in the wipe, a very strong spot for them would be to place them in these loot rooms wherever you can. It becomes a little difficult when you have like this placed, but if you can shotgun trap right here on every side, it's just kind of funny. Just a little thing I thought I'd throw in there. Also, they kind of have to walk through that point, so the shotgun traps do become very, very tricky to deal with. They just have to start rocketing loot and like half despawning it, which is kind of funny. Upgrading these things if you can. Boxes like this. Garage doors in these sections. Now I know I didn't spam garage doors through this entire center area. That's personal preference, I'll be honest. If you have the resources and can do it, do it. But otherwise, just do how I kind of did it here and it'll be just as efficient. Jumping to the next level. We're going to come outside on the sheet metal that we've done here. If you have sheet metal this right away, as this honeycomb needs to be sheet metal, as it's really just holding up this auto turret location. Then come over here, honeycomb these sections, capping those off. I like to remove this double door and then place my roof door. And the reason I like to use a single door frame is in my wipes, I find I always have extra single door, armored single doors, and I use those on roof then. Walling in these sections, like this. White battery right here. Window that guy off. Locker. I like to door that guy off. When you're placing this auto turret, upgrade this guy first. Pull this turret as close to you as humanly possible. You don't want to throw it all the way back. I personally like to throw them as close to me as possible, as it gives better angles. So like if I threw it all the way back, it does have the angle here kind of, but it's more it's more personal preference, I'll be honest. Sometimes the angles I find are better, but depending on how you are, you might like to change it up. I feel like pulling it closer gives an easier angle to shoot here. It's all weird, especially nowadays with these turrets. But here is practically the entirety of the outside base done. You gotta add in these guys. These will be our furnace jump ups. And yes, on one side, which is this side, this furnace won't work here. Make sure to instead use a ladder. It's easier to use a ladder than a ladder hatch, but if you want to use a ladder hatch, you might have guessed. I don't know what's happening here, I'm gonna be honest, guys. There we go. And now that we're in this section, we toggle back on symmetry. I'll place our beds. I have to do it this way. Place a bed as far into that room as possible, like that. A box close to me as possible, and a bed right here. And with the new update, we can place Doors right over deployables, and that's amazing. This is our team bedroom. That's all good. At this point, this is the entirety, after sheet metaling this, the entirety of the main base technically done. It's time to make our compound, our externals, our battlements, and all that stuff. So coming out from our single door entrance, we're going to be doing this build out. Square, triangle, square, triangle. You're left with this at the end. Then build one square out, one square back, and 3 triangles. If this is what you're left with, you're good to go. Now what you're going to do is break those 2 and come out 8 squares. What the back to this triangle. We're going to go 8 squares out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Coming back with all triangles. I don't know. Sanctuary is funny, guys. I don't know. I enjoy it sometimes. And this is our build out back. Making sure to come back with triangles. We're good to go. Now, sheet metaling these right away or stoning them doesn't really matter. As long as you have this gap right here, you've done this right. If you haven't, you need to do the build out that I just showed. Otherwise, it won't work. Coming out here. Like this. Now building our external. Making sure to use half walls. And then sealing this guy in like this. Adding our gatehouse. That. And now before we make the, I guess, battlements, we're going to make our next externals. There's no reason to spend more resources on this stuff yet. Same kind of build out. We're going to go 1 square, 1 triangle, 1 square, 1 triangle. But now instead, we're just going to go 3 squares out instead of 8. Now come back to these 2 triangles. Fill in the triangles like this. Sheet metal, sheet metal, sheet metal, sheet metal. If you gap like this, you've done it right. Square triangle, square triangle. These squares aren't needed. Now these will decay if they're not connected, and I'll show what I mean in a minute. But for now, let's make the rest of this. And I'm upgrading everything to its final form just to give you guys a better idea. So I do apologize if that's a little weird. Same thing, make sure to use half walls. Two garage doors. The reconnect. Just a wall here. Oop. Apologies for those little mess ups. And we're doing good. Just like that. Now we're gonna make our little double chain link fence sections. These only need to be wood like this. They don't need to be stone. Doesn't matter if they are stone though, it's all preference at that point. Turrets get to go here. Their chain links. And I like to make this these half walls and stuff before I make the compound. Just kind of makes it easier. In my opinion at least. So from here, we're going to be building, yep, that's right. Look to your right to find the gapping you need to kind of fit this in. Like that. Perfect. Same with this section. Just alt look. Make sure it looks right. And that looks good. And little gaps like this aren't the end of the world, I'm gonna be honest with you. They're very hard to exploit if it's in that spot. Very nice. Next thing we're gonna do is add our barricades. This is an easy way to play it, so pretend these are twig. Apologies for build grading something that shouldn't have been. And same thing over here. I'm just showing kind of easy ways of how to place it in vanilla. I try to show you guys some of the placements in vanilla, like this stuff. That's the easiest way to do it, at least for me. But now, right now, this stuff is technically decaying. And the reason that is these two foundations are not connected. So to do that, let's make the battlements that go on them. Adding frames like this, we're good to go. I'm very confused today. Windows like this. These are not connected. Double doors down that section. Low walls like that. I'll come inside of here now and add the proper embrasures. Last one doesn't just on these. Double doors. If you're on console, you may have to open this door to place this bed. But on PC, with the new updates, we can place things inside of each other a little easier, which is awesome. Allows for some really tricky stuff to be made easy. Nice peaks. Coming to the exterior here, we're gonna build these guys now. So now this obviously doesn't look like a funnel wall yet. This doesn't make much sense. So instead, we got add these stone pieces, half walls, windows. Excuse me. I like to sheet metal this section right here for stability purposes. We're going to add a auto turret right here. Capping this guy off. Now on these guys, we're going to add a half wall, low wall, like this. That gives us the little head glitch peak that I love so much. And double doors here to create that technical funnel. To finish this off, we're going to, off of one of these sides, doesn't really matter, add this. Like that. Just like that. And that just kind of stops them from getting over, and it forces them into a weird spot. Personal preference, in all honesty though. Okay, next thing to do is build up the shooting floor. So off of this point, build 3 high. That's kind of why I left the frame here, empty. And then off of this guy, 2 high. Add stability through here. And then over here, we're gonna add 2 high off of one of these. With a floor frame and a floor frame. Sheet metal these guys. Now adding our windows. 2 half walls here, 2 windows. Windows like this. Roof triangles here. And our roof triangles like this. This is now our auto turret location. Put on the necessary embrasures. Try to use the embrasures that I do show in the video, by the way. They are more efficient, they give a little better peaks, and they're a little easier to use than if you were to use the other ones. For here, locker in this bedroom. That's our bedroom done. Auto turret on top. Next part is our bunkers. Oh yeah, apologies. Please add your embrasures and all this fun stuff on your gatehouse. I apologize. On this guy, let's build these guys up. 3 high. Adding our sheet metal in here. Now I'll jump to here. From the interior, place 3 sheet metal like this. This is the best time probably to do it now. Add 3 roof tiles for that little look. Now off of main TC, place these 2 triangles. You'll know that this is right if this gap is here, like this. Place a wall in here. A frame. This frame, if done right, will have a conditional that's kind of sticking through the wall. You can kind of see that. Here, if I rotate it, no conditional. Oop, not getting the conditional at all now. Oh, rotate the wall. Like that. Apologies. I'll also create my shelf right now. And add the other frame. This one only needs to be stone. Now coming to the outside, let's place that wall. Now to know that the bunker is actually operating perfectly, add a twig roof. If this opens like this, you're doing good. That means it's working. Then come to the inside and place a triangle like this. If you're not closed in, you've done it right. And we're good. Adding garage doors in here. And then adding boxes. Ooh, place that backwards. Now, I do suggest armoring these bottom to discourage soft sides. And I've never had any of my bunkers soft side. I know some people worry about that. I've never had a bunker soft sided. Now that I say that, next wipe I play at these bunkers, they're gonna get soft sided, but knock on wood, I guess. Obviously make sure to upgrade the sheet metal on the roof. I think I already did that, but I kind of got a load back. Door frames here to cover up these gaps. We're going to swing doors open like this. Now, you can fall through these gaps on purpose. If you don't want to fall through these gaps, Siren Knight's right here, but I actually like being able to jump down from this point at shooting floor to get down a compound quickly. All right, the next thing to do is add our windmills. Now, there are a lot of locations for windmills. Adding 2 high off of our doors like this, we will get the main 3 windmills. These should be high enough where they should be able to supplement more than enough turrets for you. However, if you need more power and you don't really need to land scrappies on your roof, off these guys, you can add more windmills. And now they're not going to generate as much power. You could obviously raise them up higher, but I argue that this looks way scarier. So I like it. And then the next thing to really do, we have all this stuff placed. We have our whole open core placed. Starters all done and upgraded. I mean, obviously make sure to upgrade the interior. Everything is practically done. Making sure to upgrade everything as you see fit. And just upgrade more and more and more. But, oh, yes, apologies. Shotgun traps and furnace placements. Shotgun traps go like this. On these sections, these little pachucos that need to be made. Apologies for that being, sheet metal. Because I do need to show off the technical furnace funnel, and I need to show this compound bedroom placement. Apologies, guys. I did not mean to mess up like that. Been a long day. 3rd time recording this video, as the audio keeps messing up, so I do apologize. I just like this. Making sure to add shotgun traps at every one of these sections. It's just kind of default at this point for me. All right, I forgot to add one over here. All right, now that we're here, I'm gonna show you the kind of different ways to do furnaces. There's a few ways to do it. Number one, if you want multiple, you might be able to fit 2 in here if you really, really try, but I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't even try it. You have 2 options realistically. You can either place one in the middle, call it a day, not do a furnace funnel. That's if you have bad terrain and you know you can't really work with it. Like let's say there's a hill standing up here. Okay, I know I can't do a furnace funnel here, it's not gonna matter. But instead, I don't know what I just did. Let's remove this furnace and place this from over here. Place this as high as possible, forcing them to come through. They can't get through here. We're gonna force them through this section. Now what we're gonna do, half wall here, or not half wall, but a foundation here. Half wall here, they're now forced through this section right here, and add a shotgun trap like this. And if the terrain allows them to jump up onto this, adding like a half wall here, or making that a full wall instead, will prevent that. And that's super nice. That just creates yet another line of defense, as these are 5 rockets to destroy. All right, that about does it for the base design now. I have way too many rules on this base, I love it. So if you guys do have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave me a comment in the comment section below. I read every comment, I respond to every question you guys have. I'm more than happy to, and I love doing it. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. But without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you all, and I'll see you there.